kind of grew up in an abusive household. There was a lot of issues there. And by the time I was ready to go to college, surprise, surprise, the GPA wasn't there, and my dad had divorced my mom, and he took all of the college money with him. So it was in a time when I didn't understand what financial aid was or how to do things on my own. And I love this, like, watch me wrap this around. And so what did I do? I pulled an Abigail and I joined the military. So I went into the military and went through basic and AIT, and then I stopped because that wasn't for me, which I think is awesome that it's for you. But it just wasn't for me because it wasn't where I wanted to be. And at that time, kind of fell in love and, met somebody and started working in mortgages and finances. And I was on the fast track to everything, and I got pregnant. And at that point, I had to kind of juggle those types of things through that. Now, just so I'm going to say a couple of things. I want you all to freak out. I am okay with all of this stuff because I'm at a different place in my life. But just so you figure it out, so you know where I've been. Once my daughter was born, I found out that she had cerebral palsy. It was like a real big hit because now I have to raise a disabled child, and I wasn't prepared for that. 6 months later, my husband gets in a car accident and dies. So after that, I ended up having a really bad back accident, and I was paralyzed for 3 years. So just to review, cerebral palsy, death, paralyzed. So I had to work. I told you I have to wrap this up. So I had to work through learning how to walk again and stay home with my daughter. And I was trying to go through a bunch of different ideas, like how am I going to work, how I'm going to survive, how I'm going to do these things. And it wasn't easy. I luckily was able to stumble on disability, which really did help me through some really hard times, but that doesn't come right away. So there were some things like, welfare and aid, and I took well advantage of everything that I could, and eventually got off all of those programs. After all of this was said and done, I concentrated really hard for my daughter to get a good education, and I just that was my job for about 18 years. And luckily, a couple of years back, she got into U of I, and she got a good scholarship to go there. And I sent her on her merry way. So then it was like, okay, now it's time for me. And one of my dreams has always been to graduate from college. And I would actually be first generation in my family to graduate from college. My mom did, and my brother, and my father. And I kind of spoke to my husband, and one of the main reasons why we were doing this was, well, now we got to pay for my daughter's college, right? So how are we going to do that? And it's time for me to kind of get back into life. And my husband, he's a monument artist, and so he's kind of stuck at his job, stuck at a certain wage, and there is no way in hell that he is going to go to college. He's just not doing it. And so I said, well, I can do it. So that was the first choice. And then the second choice was where to go. And ICC was definitely a possibility because right up the street from us, I kind of went in and kind of figured out some programs and things like that, and just kind of stumbled on it, really. I took a couple of summer classes and to see, what I want to do. And I'm like, what do you do at the age of 45 or whatever? And, basically it came down to, I love to teach. I love to use my life experiences as stepping stones and teaching opportunities for other people. And that's where the whole I'm going to be a professor kind of a thing came into play.